The Amex Trifecta is one of the most expensive credit card setups out there, coming in at a cost of $945 a year. However, if you do use these cards in the Amex Trifecta to their fullest extent, you can make up over $1,750 worth of credits on these cards every single year. But are you gonna get that much value from these cards? Almost 100% certainly not. So in this video, we're gonna find out if the Amex Trifecta is worth it for you. Let's go ahead and kick it off with the workhorse card of this entire setup, that of course being the Amex Gold Card. The Amex Gold Card is one of the most popular, if not the most popular, credit cards in existence. I feel like almost every single person that's somewhat into the credit card game either has this card or definitely has heard of it. And that's pretty crazy to me because this card is definitely not free. As a matter of fact, this card comes with a $250 annual fee in order to keep the card open every single year. Although it may sound nuts that so many people are using this card every single year with that kind of annual fee on it, but as we're gonna see in this video, you can actually lower that effective annual fee down to just $10 a year, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But before we get into that, we should probably talk about how this card earns. This card earns in three main categories, the first of which being 4x back on restaurants worldwide. Then you're gonna get 4x back on grocery stores within the US, and you'll also get 3x back on flights booked directly with the airlines themselves or through Amex's travel portal. And then lastly, you'll get 1x on everything else. For me, I just use this card for all of my food purchases, whether that's eating out or at the grocery store, because I know I'm gonna at least get 4x back on all of those purchases, which is pretty awesome. Also, the fact that it does earn 3x back with airlines whenever you book a flight directly with them is actually a pretty slept on category in my opinion, mainly because if you don't have any other mid-tier travel cards in your wallet, this is actually a really beneficial perk to get you some extra value on all those flights that you purchase with airlines directly. And for example, the Chase Sapphire Preferred is another card that I have in my wallet that slots into that mid-tier travel card category. But if I was to purchase flights with that card, I would only be getting 2x back, so getting that extra point is pretty nice. Now that we know that the card earns well, how do we go ahead and lower that effective annual fee? The way we're gonna do this is gonna be through two different credits that Amex has on this card. The first of which being a $120 per year dining credit. This is a $10 monthly credit that you'll get back to you in the form of a statement credit anytime you purchase any kind of food at the select locations shown here. And then you also get $10 per month in Uber cash credits that's deposited directly into your Uber account. And these credits can be used on Uber rides or for Uber Eats, whichever one you want to use. So as y'all well know by now, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, I use the dining credit for Grubhub and I use the Uber credit for Uber Eats. And in doing that, I effectively give myself $20 per month in free food that I can get back with this card. But the hack here is that if you do set those apps up to pick up only instead of the delivery option, then you can save yourself on those delivery fees and actually make these credits worth it. So with both of those credits each giving you $120 back in your pocket each year, that's gonna lower the effective annual fee down from $250 to just $10. So to me, this makes this card a no-brainer for anybody that spends a lot of money on food, which of course is gonna be all of us. Just make sure that you can get value from those credits before you get this card. But we haven't actually talked about the best way that you can get the most value from this credit card. And that of course is gonna be the welcome bonus that is offered whenever you go to get this card for the first time. This card currently comes with multiple welcome bonuses, but there are two in particular that I would take a closer look at if I were you. The first one is going to be from Resy.com, which will give you 75,000 Amex membership rewards points after spending $4,000 in the first 6 months of having the card. But on top of that, you're also going to get 20% back as a statement credit when you make a purchase at restaurants worldwide within the first 12 months of card membership, up to $250 back. Now, if you're not a fan of that little bit of cashback option, there is also some 90,000 Amex membership rewards points offers floating out there through referral links. And I personally know a few people with that link, but if you haven't found one yet, I would go into the credit community Discord that Daniel Braun and Mark Plymel run together. There's always someone in there that's gonna have the welcome bonus you're looking for. Now that we're already talking about welcome bonuses, there's no better time than now to talk about what kind of redemption value you can get from your Amex membership rewards points. And right off the bat, I have to make the disclaimer that Amex points are not cashback points. You should really only ever use Amex points through their travel portal, or better yet, transfer them out to travel partners to get the most value. If you were to just go with cashback, that would only give you 0.6 cents per point in value, unless you have the Charles Schwab version of the Amex Platinum card, which would give you 1.1 cents per point in value when redeeming for cashback through your brokerage account. But better yet, if you do choose to transfer your points out to travel partners, you could get at least 2 cents per point in value from your points. So in doing the math, if you value your Amex points at the same rate that I do, 2 cents per point, then that first offer would give you $1,500 worth of free travel plus $250 worth of statement credits over the course of the first year. But if you went with the second offer, that would give you $1,800 worth of free travel at a value of 2 cents per point. Now, whenever I applied for this card, I actually got a really cool offer of getting 90,000 Amex membership rewards points plus that $250 statement credit on restaurants in the first year, which gave me a value of at least $1,800 worth of free travel and $250 worth of cash back, which is pretty insane. Now, sadly, that offer isn't available anymore, but the other two offers I mentioned are also really good. So if you're looking to get the Amex Gold Card, I don't really see a better time than now. Now that we've covered the workhorse card of the setup, let's talk about the second most frequently used card in this entire setup, which is going to be your catch-all card, and that is going to be the Amex Blue Business Plus. There are two Amex Blue Business cards that people choose between, the Amex Blue Business Plus that I just mentioned, and the Amex Blue Business Cash. Now, as the name sounds, the Blue Business Cash is going to give you all of your rewards in cashback form, but in order to maximize the Amex Trifecta, you want all of your cards to be earning Amex membership rewards points. So in this case, we're going to be talking strictly about the Amex Blue Business Plus card. Not only does this card complement the Amex Trifecta in the way that it earns, but it also comes with a shocking perk that other Amex cards usually don't come with, and that's going to be no annual fee. Now, while it does just sound awesome that this card comes with no annual fee, there is one main reason that this is so powerful. Being that it's one of Amex's only cards that doesn't come with an annual fee, if you were to cancel all of your other Amex cards with an annual fee on them, like the Amex Gold or the Amex Platinum that we're talking about in this video, you could still keep your Amex membership rewards points balance alive with this Amex Blue Business Plus, and you would never have to close it. Since you can transfer out to travel partners with this card alone, this means that you can still get all the same value from your points that you would if you had these other Amex cards with high annual fees. Now, that's all well and good, but we also want to be able to use this card on the daily basis, so how does it earn? So this card's really simple. It just earns 2x back on up to $50,000 worth of purchases in a year, and then after that, it's 1x back on everything else. Now, this is obviously really great because it gets to serve as the catch-all card for your Amex Trifecta, because the other two cards in this trifecta only earn 1x back in the everything else category, unlike this card. Basically, when in doubt, pull this card out. And honestly, I kind of like that phrase, so maybe I'll have to trademark that for myself if no one else has. But also, since this card doesn't come with any annual fee, it's also not going to come with any credits. However, you can still get a ton of value from this card strictly through the welcome bonus alone. Right now, this card comes with two different welcome offers, one 15,000 point Amex membership rewards points offer after spending $3,000 in the first 3 months of having this card. And the second offer is a targeted offer that you can find on drofcredit.com as well. And this offer will give you 50,000 Amex membership rewards points after spending $15,000 on this card in a calendar year. Again, at a value of 2 cents per point, that first welcome offer will give me a value of $300 worth of free travel, and the second offer will give me $1,000 worth of free travel. But the main thing to consider between these two offers is going to be the opportunity costs that come with them. Since this is, of course, an Amex card, it does follow the same rules as the other Amex cards do, which is the once-in-a-lifetime welcome offer rule, meaning exactly what it sounds like. You can only get one welcome offer on each Amex card that you apply for. But at the same time, do you really want to be putting $15,000 worth of spend on just one card to get 50,000 Amex membership rewards points? For me, that just wasn't worth it, and whenever I applied for the Amex Blue Business Plus in my last video, I used the 15,000 Amex membership rewards points offer in order to use this card in Q4 of 2022 for all of my holiday spend, and I didn't want to spend $12,000 more on this card throughout 2023, so that's why I went with the first offer. Now let's dive into the fun card, which is one of the most luxurious travel cards in the entire credit card game, that of course being the Amex Platinum card. Being that this is a luxury travel card, it's going to come with an annual fee to match. I hope you enjoyed talking about the Amex Blue Business Plus with no annual fee, because this card comes with a whopping $695 annual fee. That's basically $700 a year just for holding a credit card, which sounds crazy. However, once again, like we talked about with the gold card, it's going to come with a ton of different credits to help offset that annual fee for you. But before we get into that, let's talk about how this card earns. First of all, this card is going to give you 5x back on all flight purchases made directly with the airline itself, and it'll also give you 5x back on all prepaid hotel and airline bookings through Amex's travel portal. And then after that, it just gives you 1x on everything else. Obviously, this is kind of underwhelming on the earning standpoint for a card with such a hefty annual fee, and this card is obviously going to be the one that comes out of your wallet at the very least. However, even if you just barely use this card, the credits and perks that this card comes with is actually insane. To name as many as I can really quickly, it comes with a $200 airline incidental credit, $200 Uber credit, a bunch of lounge access, most notably with the Centurion lounges, $240 worth of digital entertainment credits, $200 hotel credits, $179 Clear credit, Walmart Plus credit, $300 Equinox credit, global dining access, and the global lounge collection. Honestly, I probably even still missed some credits in there, but this shows you that there are a ton of different ways that you can earn money back from this card. And the bottom line here is that if you were to use all of those credits, you would get $1,500 plus worth of value from this card every single year. And while that all sounds great, I'd be willing to bet that a vast majority of people might not be able to even get value from half of those credits. However, as long as you do get over $695 worth of value from this card every single year, then it pays for itself. Just make sure that is the case for you before you go and apply for this card, because that is a very hefty annual fee that you'll be paying if not. Other than just the credits, this card is pretty famous for having really high welcome offers every single year. The two that are worth applying for right now if you're in the market for this card are going to be the following. First, Resi.com has a 125,000 Amex membership reward point sign-up bonus when spending $6,000 within 6 months of having the card. And like the gold card, on top of that, you're going to be able to get 10x back on restaurants worldwide on up to $25,000 worth of spend in the first 6 months of having the card. So if you're a big restaurant goer, then I would probably go with that first welcome bonus, as long as it gives you more value than the second bonus we're going to talk about, that being a 150,000 Amex membership reward point referral offer that you can get through somebody's referral link. Now, once again, if you value your Amex membership rewards points at 2 cents per point when transferring out to travel partners, then that first offer will give you 2,500 $2,500 worth of free travel, plus up to another $2,500 worth of statement credits if you were to max out that spending cap. And the second offer would give you $3,000 worth of free travel. So once again, if you spend a lot at restaurants, I'd probably go with the first offer because it has a higher amount that you could possibly earn. Just do the math before you get the card because you might want to go with the second offer either way. Both of these offers are some of the highest valued offers I've ever seen personally, so if you're in the market for this card, now is a pretty good time to go for it. I should also mention here that there are multiple different versions of the Amex Platinum card. Of course, there's the vanilla version that we've been talking about throughout this video, but they also have the Charles Schwab version and the Morgan Stanley version. These two other versions will give you extra perks if you do hold assets with one of those companies in particular. And if I was going to choose between the two, I'd go ahead and get the Charles Schwab version because I do have a Charles Schwab brokerage account. And like I mentioned earlier, I could then cash out my Amex membership rewards points for 1.1 cents per point through my brokerage account with Charles Schwab. So that would give me the freedom to be able to make that somewhat of a cashback setup too. But again, I'm going to be using most of my Amex points for travel, and I would recommend that you do the same. And I'm not personally super well versed with the Morgan Stanley version of this card, but my good friend Stan, the Credit Frog, has made videos on that card in the past, so go ahead and check out his channel if you haven't already. Now at this point, we've covered all three of the cards that compose the Amex Trifecta, but let's talk about what makes this trifecta so powerful and if it's actually worth it for you. Now, as you've probably caught on by now, there's really only one way to make this setup really powerful, and that's if you transfer all of your Amex membership rewards points out to travel partners. As I mentioned previously, all three of these cards do earn Amex membership rewards points, so at the end of the day, you can pool all of your points together and then transfer them out to travel partners to get the most value. If you use the points that you gain from those welcome bonuses, plus all the daily spend that would be required to hit those welcome bonus spending requirements, and all the other purchases you make on a daily basis, you're gonna be able to get a ton of value out of these cards. As a matter of fact, let's just talk strictly about the welcome bonuses and how much value those will give you alone. Like we talked about, the Amex Blue Business Plus comes with 2 welcome offers, but I think the 15,000 Amex membership reward point offer is more reasonable for most people. And with the Amex Gold right now, you have a pretty good chance of getting the 90,000 point welcome offer if you just ask around for it. And the same thing goes for the Amex Platinum 150,000 point offer if you just ask around for a referral link for that one as well. So in total, that's going to give you 255,000 Amex membership rewards points from those 3 offers alone. At a value of, again, 2 cents per point, that's going to give you a value of $5,100 in free travel just for using these cards for the welcome bonuses. I don't know about you, but that's a ton of free travel for me. And if you did actually use these points to book more luxurious trips, you could get even more value for your points and get closer to even 10 cents per point in value per point that you have with Amex. Just remember that if you don't get value from the credits on the Amex Gold card and the Amex Platinum card, then you're going to be stuck paying $945 a year for these cards. And over time, that's going to cancel out all of the value that you get from those welcome bonuses if you didn't cancel the cards. So once again, let me stress that if you don't get value from these credits, then these cards are not worth it for you. But on a more positive note, another thing that's pretty cool about this Amex Trifecta is that if you did get a Charles Schwab version of the Amex Platinum card, you technically have a pretty decent cashback setup. But again, if you're getting the Amex Platinum card, you're probably going to need to be traveling a lot in order to get value from those credits. So I really think that cash out opportunity is only going to be valuable if you want to use it for, say, like your dining purchases while you were on vacation. So I would just consider that cash out opportunity to be some supplemental income to help support your trips. Obviously, this is a great setup for people that travel often, but how does it stack up compared to other lenders' trifectas? For those of y'all that know me, you know I'm going to be talking about Chase's trifecta in this case, and I would say they have a really solid trifecta too at only a cost of $95 per year. However, admittedly, it does not give you anywhere near the amount of value in credits and perks and benefits that the Amex Trifecta gives you. So if you're just getting started in the travel game, I would still recommend getting the Chase Trifecta first and then moving into the Amex Trifecta once you're a little bit more experienced or traveling a lot more. So that brings us to the question that all of y'all have been waiting for: who is the Amex Trifecta actually worth it for? The Amex Trifecta is only going to be worth it for those that naturally get value from the credits these cards offer. You never want to overspend on a card or use credits you wouldn't normally use in order to get a new credit card. And while it does sound nice to get $1,500 worth of value from your Amex Platinum card, if you weren't already going to get that value beforehand, then it doesn't make much sense. I would reframe the way that you think about annual fees on a credit card to prepaying for stuff that you're going to already pay for throughout the year. So if you weren't going to already pay for an Equinox membership, then you can't count that credit towards lowering your effective annual fee. But aside from that, this setup does provide a ton of value to frequent travelers, especially those who really value stuff like lounge access. So if you personally value the perks that these Amex cards come with, want to use all of your Amex membership rewards points for travel, and can get positive value from these cards every single year naturally, then this setup is going to be for you, and I don't know what you're waiting on. If you're thinking about applying for any of these cards, go ahead and watch me apply for both the Amex Gold and the Amex Blue Business Plus in these videos here. And I also do have referral links for those cards down below, but make sure that they are competitive and the offers that you actually want to go with before you use them. Also, I will be applying for the Amex Platinum in the future, so make sure that you're subscribed to see that and all the other cards I apply for in the meantime. And unfortunately, I don't have Odin here with me today, but I know him and I both really appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.